Hi, everybody. Michael Roll here, spiritual medium and channel and ascension guide. And I have a message with Archangel Michael right now that he wanted to give to all of us. And it's about empowerment and self empowerment and self love and self care. And the message is the idea of mastery and professionalism. And what we talked about was this idea. I asked them, I mentioned how there's so much, there's so many systems in the world that we all sort of live by and abide by and function from in order to produce results, right? And anytime a system gets better, you upgrade the system, you get better results, right? So and that matters in every aspect of life, and it includes those professional businesses and whatever's out there, professionally minded people, and experts and masters and these words that describe people who have studied a lot and really practice something to a point where they're masterful, they're professional at it. And so the question I had asked was, we live in a society where people are always trying to tell you, and usually it's when you get your first job, and and your employer is going to tell you to dress this way, look this way, act this way, talk this way, and hopefully not all of that stuff, but at least dress professionally and things of this nature. And so the example, the reason why I was asking was when I was in college, I had a teacher who was, a lawyer, professional lawyer, and he was teaching a class on cross-cultural business communications. And it was, and every day he would show up and he would be wearing like not a tie-dye shirt, but he'd always wear like floral shirts, or like palm tree shirts and khaki shorts and flip-flops every single time. And I had the thought then, and so when I was talking with Archangel Michael, I said, because even back then when I had the thought, and I said it to Michael too, if I saw that guy and I really needed a lawyer, and I saw that guy and he was just standing right next to another guy with like a suit and a tie, which one would I pick, right? And based off of the idea of image and imagery and first impressions, right? And what we're told is professional, if you will, right? We would perhaps just based on that go for the guy who's kept up well and dresses nice and all of that sort of thing. And particularly if you have worked your first job or two and you've had employment where you've had to dress for your job, you have to look decent. I mean, most of it's not that ridiculous in the first place, but anyways, we're talking about it anyways. And I said to him that I would totally choose the guy in the tie-dye outfit, because for me, right, and to compare with what we're sort of taught and how we're programmed to think. Well, we're programmed to think like, if you had that job, well, okay, dress this way because that's what professionalism is. So now when you see those two guys, which one are you going to pick? You're going to pick the guy who's dressed nice. He looks like he's ready to work, and like he's going to have your best interest in mind, right? But if you were to pick which one is the true master, right? And then this is where we started laughing, because a master is someone who doesn't need to ask, for help, doesn't need someone to tell them what they need to do to be a master. They don't need someone who's a professional, doesn't need someone to tell them how to be what they already are, right? And this, in effect, right? So, which one would you pick? Well, to me and my personal view of it is I see the guy in the tie-dye shirt as being really comfortable with who he is and knows who he is, and I would feel a lot more comfortable with someone like that who I could sit down with and we can talk, and I would feel I would feel much more comfortable with a normal average another human being instead of you know a system, a guy who's just dressed the way the system says he's supposed to dress, like, or a structure says he should look. Like, I would rather pick a human over the structure guy, over, like, right? And that's just my personal take. And so we started laughing, or I started laughing, about it. And so he wanted to, he kind of chimed in with the message, and he said, well, let's do a video for it and put that out there, because I wanted to give that to people, in that sense. I wanted to put that out, with him, where, there's all of those systems in the world that we exist in, and we all have to abide by, and we have to do this and we have to do that. And don't get me wrong, laws are good, don't hurt people, and don't, do things like that. I'm not saying we shouldn't have those, but at the end of the day, anytime you're approaching mastery on any level, there's a point where you stop asking your teacher for, and you might that they've been teaching you for some time, perhaps, so you're going to have a relationship with them still. But at some point you're going to have to become the master that you want to be. And okay, so now he just made me think of, I loved the movie The Last Dragon when I was a kid, and the whole movie, it's about, he's trying to find the mastery and the enlightenment. He's trying to find it, and then and his teacher just like pokes him on the forehead, and he's like, "There's one place that you have not looked yet for your answer," and it's within himself, right? So there becomes there's that point where you have to become your own master, and you have to be the one to decide if you're gonna dress in the suit and the tie, or if you're just going to show up wearing tie-dye clothes, right? Because it's up to you, and it's your choice. You are the master. Okay, Michael's coming in, and he's always about empowerment. So so you all are so important in your lives. Whether you think of your life as you are the owner and the controller, you're very controlling, or whether you are not and you are passive and responding to life, it is nonetheless your life. And so it takes your energy to create it to be however you want it to be. It's so funny it sounds so plain, but what they mean behind it, it's awesome, right? As this one says often, you're the center point of your world. So if your world is good, bad, happy, or sad, you have to ask yourself why. And only you know you better and best, and has your best interest in mind. You can't, don't go through life asking other people if they have your best interest in life. You can't ask other people to take care of you, because they have to take care of themselves. So there's at least a baseline average, frequency that we all have to be taking care of ourselves. And so instead of putting blame, and instead of choosing victim mode, or hopelessness, there's nothing I can do, I try, and just remove all of that. Because if you're going to be in your life anyways, it becomes, well, why do I do that, well, why not, right? What else am I doing anyways? So be the master of your life is what he's getting at. He's saying, it takes you in engaging in your life in order to make it any which way. And when you don't engage in your own life, and you assume the sort of victim where everything happens to you, and you assume that role and that position, then why would you expect then to have like the opposite? How you can't not even try and expect it all to just go better. So but the uniqueness and the beauty and the passion and the love that is within you living your own life has to do with the free will, and how you get to choose. So yes, there are some things on the planet that when you see them and you say, well, this happened, that is just a reaction from spirit into the physical, and now we had the physical happening. But it is not appropriate or accurate to say this happened to me on the physical realm. That's therefore this is what will always happen. This is how it always works. No, there's a beginning point, a spiritual realm, spiritual stuff where there's more to it than just black and white. Like life is just this physical earth on the physical realm. Blah. That's it. Um, he's saying, the reason why when one hides themselves away or hermit crabs themselves away in their home or whatever, the reason why it feels bad after some time, or it feels monotonous, or it feels lackluster or restlessness, is because of your direct not engaging in your own life. And he's saying, you know, don't expect someone else to do it for you, and how much sweeter it is when you jump into your life, when because the reason it doesn't feel good is because you're not there. So you're not, it doesn't feel good to you because it's everything else and you're not engaging in it. So it's an interesting shift, because it's really, that's why they meet, it's like a lifestyle shift. It's going from being in a victim mode to where you become the director of your life and the creator of your life actively in the moment. And he's saying, sure, you can get tired, sure, if you're exhausted, you don't want it's going to happen no matter if you're not in your life, because then you have outside energies that are constantly bombarding you, so you're not going to feel restful. And then if you're in your life and you're too busy, you're not taking time for your own self-care, then that can feel too busy too. But when you're in the center of your life and you're balanced, that's the sweet spot. That's the sweetest spot there is. Okay. Cool. So yeah, so on to mastery. Let's go. It's your life, so master it in a way that feels good for you, right? Be a part of your life that you want to be so good. Then you be good and in your life, and then your life will be good. Right. We can say that 100 different ways, I guess. He probably can't. I probably think it that one. I think there's one more I had in my mind. That's why we saw that. Okay. All right, guys. I'll let you go. Thanks for stopping by. Hope that message helped somebody or anything. Anyone and anything. So let me know if you have any questions. And you can always contact me, info@michaelrollachannel.com. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I'll see you in my next videos. Bye, guys. Thanks.